What it do? What it do? What it do, y'all? What's the deal? You plugged in with the Ox Connect, where we connecting you with all the hottest stuff from entertainment and everything in between. I got my super dope co-host with me in the building. What's the deal?
Period. Darby Dar's in the building. You already know what time it is. I'm excited. We have a brand new episode. We have a brand new category for y'all today. So this is gonna be first timer.
I'm
First
excited.
timer.
Hello.
This is gonna be a new thing for all of us, a new experience, and y'all get to watch it here live and direct. So
Hello.
I got my other wonderful co-host with me
Can't cut, you know what it is.
in the building.
What
Let's
it
get it.
do? And we got our guest who's super talented, man. He gonna let us know what he got going on. I worked with bro in the past, and he's super dope. We got my boy Tommy Boy in the building.
Okay.
What it do, Tommy
Appreciate y'all,
Boy?
appreciate
For the folks who don't know you real quick, we're going to get it started right off the dribble. Like, let them know who you is, what you do, where you from, what you got going on. You know, just the beginning, and then we're going to start diving in.
Man, the beginning. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I lived like 3 lives.
Okay, well, let's
Be real
start
with
on
you,
your
but-
first one. Your very first life.
Very first life, I was born in Gardena, California,
Okay.
Okay.
Los Angeles. But I went to college, dropped out of college, became a photographer.
Okay.
Been a photographer for like 6 years.
Okay.
And now I made a film in 2
Wow.
months.
Yeah, and we seen that.
This is major.
Yeah, and it's dope. We watched it, and it's dope, and I'm really excited to dive into that.
Yeah.
And of course, before we dive into it, you know, we just got to figure out who Tommy Boy is, what you got
Right.
going on, why you get into this videographer, photographer lifestyle, what made you drop out of college, all that type of good
Well,
shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, well, I did get a degree though.
okay.
Okay,
But
period.
then, yeah, I did get a degree. But then I wanted to, pursue business and keep pursuing it. But then this wasn't for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
We can relate.
Right.
I woke up one morning and said, I want to buy a camera. And that's all she wrote. That's what happened.
That's
So
dope.
I bought a camera. Then I just start like going to different events and just shooting, going to different events and just shooting. Wasn't making no money. Then but people start recognizing your face. They start seeing you more and more and more. They start asking your rates. You don't even have rates because you don't even, what I mean?
Wow,
You
that's
just
deep.
Shooting.
Yeah. So then you got to figure out, okay, well, how do I scale this? How do I price this? You know what I mean? You start meeting different people, then all of a sudden one thing turns into another, that turns into another. I didn't shop for like some of the best athletes in the NFL. I didn't shop
Nice.
for the Lakers.
Nice.
Nice.
Met Hov, met Jay-Z.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
major.
That's dope. That's dope.
I just been fortunate,
Yeah, nah, that's dope. At least, I mean, especially doing it with, what you love, your craft, with something that is super dope, and it's a business, so you get to do all this dope stuff, and you pretty much building a network and making money. So
Right,
that's super, super,
right. And
super
work
dope.
off your own schedule. That's
Yeah, which we all love that.
oh for sure.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Wake
So,
up when you want to.
hello.
Exactly. So how was that pretty much walking away from a degree and establishing yourself with a business? How does that work? Where's the confidence at as you're going along doing that?
Man, it's kind of like what Nip said. You go through every emotion. You know what I mean? You have the times where there's been times where nothing will crack off, and I'll be on the phone with my boy like, if nothing don't crack off this month, I'm done. Going back, working corporate, then like you just gotta stay motivated because you're gonna have your highs, you're gonna have your lows, but you gotta find that balance. I done had my days where I'm like, for sure. I remember when Nip, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, I remember when he gave me his number, he's like, holla at me. I was like, for sure. Like,
Wow.
you know what I mean? But, we kept in contact, But then you got those times where those contacts like dry up. And you're like,
Right.
man, what the hell is going on?
Back
'Cause
on you.
everybody got their own things going on.
Right.
But once you really find your niche and find where you at in this,
Right.
you know what I mean? And that's the most important part is just finding where you at. And once you find that, like you just stay in it.
Right.
And that's just what I did. I just found like where I was at, okay, let me just try to be the best at this.
I
Instead
think
of,
that's a gem right there for sure.
Yeah.
Clip that. But because I talk about all the time, like how I'm doing so many different things. And you're never really going to have an opportunity to excel in one thing when you spread yourself too thin.
right.
So, yeah, that's really
Right.
important.
And you
Find
probably
your
won't
niche.
even appreciate those wins because it's so much going on. So before you can even appreciate the win in one category or whatever you got going on here, something else is going on over here. So it's like you can't even,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
For
so
sure.
that's the
Like,
challenge of the entrepreneur
And
lifestyle.
like you really don't know it's a win, to be real with you, till about 6 months later. Like I didn't encounter, like my phone still has so many numbers of people that you be like, damn, for real?
Yeah.
But we didn't even get a chance to work together.
Right.
But then the people that I did get a chance to work with, you know what I mean? You gotta like take that in too.
Definitely.
So like I didn't have the highs, I didn't have the lows. Like
yeah.
It's all confirmation.
For
It's all
sure, for
confirmation
sure,
along
yeah.
the journey.
Right.
for
right,
sure.
right.
Like I never thought I would be sidelined at a Rams games. You get what I'm saying?
That's hard.
You know,
Mhm.
shout out to my boy Ty Gurley.
So for the people, or at least the young videographers, not even young in age, just young in the craft, what advice would you give them for them folks that's trying to get there? Because I know that like that grind, is just like every other grind, is super
Man.
hard. But like
Man.
with photography, because I just feel like everybody has a camera. Everywhere
Right.
we go. I mean, we go to
Right.
so many events, right? And like
Right.
it's about 12 niggas in there with a camera.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm
That's beautiful.
saying? So my question is like, how do you really get into these type of, situations like that?
Finesse.
Right.
Finesse.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Right.
I'm gonna say that. Act like
Fake
you've been
it
there
till you
before.
make it.
Like that's gonna be like the main thing is like act like you've been there before. Like a lot of people ain't gonna tell you like I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
I done snuck in so many events.
Right.
Wow.
I snuck in this one event that changed my life.
Yeah.
I met my boy TG,
Mhm.
and Ty Gurley took me underneath his wing, and that's all she wrote for me. And like once I got in that door, we bust the door open. Like now I was at Rams games. Now I'm shooting for the Lakers. Now I'm like doing like
Yeah.
different things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because all it takes is really that one person to really co-sign for
For
you.
sure. For sure.
Like-
for sure.
Like I was there when Sweetie made my type.
Wow.
Like, and I didn't even
That's
think
amazing.
like that song was gonna be what it was. Like I was saying, like, yeah, it's cool. Like,
Wow.
yeah, Sweetie here, yeah, London on the track right here.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but
Wow.
you don't know. But then about 2 or 3 weeks later, like, oh shit, like
shit is one of the
I
biggest
still
records,
have like
yeah.
those moments in my archives. Like, damn, I do remember being in that moment,
Right.
and like she was just so amazing. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? This is
yeah.
before I even got to the plateau where I was like, okay, where I'm like within the sports.
Mm.
So, like Wale had me under his wing for like 6 months too,
Mm.
and like it was just taking the small wins. I wasn't making no money. I was just there. You know what I mean? He had
Just
me on my
being-
first video shoot.
That's important.
Being in
That all,
position.
that all ties back into what I always talk about, which is the sacrifice.
For
You know,
sure.
the
Gotta pay
sacrifice
your
of it all.
dues.
Like I remember, I was watching Haha Davis talking about how he had like 3 million followers and you know this and that, and so many people have that story like, oh, I had 5 million followers and I was sleeping in the basement, or
Right.
Steve Harvey is like, y'all didn't know, like I was literally like homeless living in my car when I was still like 33 years old.
Wow.
So yeah,
Nah, that shit is real.
It's
Yeah,
all
no,
faith.
that is
Nah,
that's
it's
dope.
real. You just gotta act like you've been there before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, like, what's the difference going? Because if you didn't go to school for it, you didn't have the proper training to be a photographer for this part of the industry or that part of the industry. What's the difference between being like a music industry photographer with Wale to a sports photographer with Todd Gurley? Because I know it's a
Man.
drastic difference.
It's definitely a drastic difference. I'll say this much. The transition for me was kind of easy because I love music, but then I love football. I love basketball. You know, I love sports.
It's natural.
So it was like natural for me. And like, that was more my lane anyway as far as the sports thing. Because as a black kid, you grow up want to get to the league. You know what I mean? I always tell myself, I want to get to the league.
Right.
I want to go to the league. I want to go to the league. But there's different ways how to get there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Maybe I didn't get there throwing the football or running the football, but a camera got me there.
still got there.
Still made it.
You know what I mean? I was able to shake Roger Goodell's hand. Shout out to TJ for making that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a hat on or a jersey on, but
you still there.
yeah, I still was
I
there.
will never forget a quote I heard. I think The Rock said it was like, he said something about like his goal or his life goal or dream was to make the league, and
Right.
he said that was like the one dream that he glad never came true. You know what I'm saying? Because of that not happening, he was able to do so much more in his life. You feel me? Like,
Right.
so who knows if you was gonna be able to do that if you took sports serious.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's super dope, and congratulations on all you've done
Oh,
behind that,
appreciate that.
camera. You know what I'm saying? Because
Appreciate that.
that's dope, and I know it takes a lot of work. And then on top of that, you're not even getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I
Right.
know all of us being in entrepreneurs, we all been there where we like, damn, we just gotta grind it out for a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
Right.
that every day when I'm making reels, when I'm doing this, I'm doing
Bingo.
that. I have a whole nother video right now on my page,
Yeah.
2 million views
Yeah.
as of yesterday.
Yeah.
I've made $0 from 2 million views.
That's
But I
crazy.
gotta just keep
Holding tight.
going
Put your
until
foot
it
on the
makes
gas.
sense, you
Yeah,
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Use
yeah.
that to my advantage to work as a brand ambassador. Use that, create a portfolio for myself. Like, all right, look, this is what I'm able to do. This is what I've accomplished. You know, if you want me to promote your brand or you want me to promote your company, here's my rate. Like, that's the way that I could approach it now instead of just like, well, what am I supposed to do with all these views?
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
creating content land. That's the whole thing.
Definitely,
Hey.
definitely. So I'm curious, Tommy. You said you dropped out of school. You didn't go to school for photography or
I didn't.
videography. So like, how did you learn, and how did you learn so fast?
You know, it's crazy. Like, when you in it, you think it's a long time, but it wasn't. You know, I was just self-taught, but then I took on mentors. You know what I mean? If I was like a sponge.
Yeah.
If I seen you with your camera, I'm like, hey, bro, what you got over there? Like, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like, can you teach me how to? I had no problem asking questions.
Yeah.
I had no problem. Hey, bro, can I get your number?
Yeah.
I had no problem pulling up on you. I had no problem. Like, my pride was like, because I knew where I was going and I knew where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like, in order for that, like, I had to like just learn and just be a sponge. At one point, I was shooting my thing just on like the regular settings. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Nothing
yeah.
special,
Yeah.
yeah.
like, nah, I didn't know
change the
nothing about no
effects and shit.
ISOs,
Yeah.
no f-stop. I didn't know nothing about nothing when I first
And I
came
don't
in.
even
And
know
I
what that
don't
means.
know what any of
I
that
like, he
means.
said terms where I'm like, well, I still don't know what that means.
Yeah,
So,
nah, all that stuff is very real. Lighting, which I was saying, all this lighting, like,
Yeah.
I didn't know about none of that. You get what I'm saying?
Nice.
But you just got to be willing to learn and just take in the information,
right.
you know, and
Right.
be willing to make those mistakes. Cause you gonna make those mistakes. Some photos I look at nowadays, I be like, gee, like some photos I took, I be like, nah, that wasn't it. You know what I mean? It just wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean
But-
that comes with all like progression and
For sure.
journey. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna look back like, God damn, that shit was terrible. But
Yeah.
at the time, that was like the highlight of your career or whatever you
Right.
had going on. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So-
yeah. There, some of those pictures, like, I never forget some of those pictures that are awful to me now.
Yeah.
When I was getting in the car after taking them, like, man, I shot some fire.
Yeah.
I get on the phone, like, I didn't, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because whoever's in the photo, I'm like, man, I didn't shot some fire. You know what I mean? Nobody can tell me nothing. But I look back at them like, ooh, no. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but that's good. That shows growth,
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
you know, and which kind of leads me to my next question. So with this whole transition now into videography, like do you feel like you had like a goal you wanted to reach as far as your skill in photography, or like a certain like, all right, once I work with this person, or once I at least just get to this place, then I've made it in this lane or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the goal was always to direct and
Okay.
eventually come out with my own personal project.
Okay.
Whatever
so that was already it
right.
from
That
jump.
was that was already, but whatever it looked like, I didn't know. I didn't know the
Trajectory of it.
You're
how
right.
it's
I
gonna
didn't know
happen.
how I was gonna get
Yeah.
there. I didn't have no GPS on it. I did not know. I didn't know anything. Like, so that lane just basically just fell into my lap. I had no intentions anytime, at least anytime soon, of doing it. I'm a photographer. I work for this brand. I work for this person, and or work with this person. I don't work for anybody, but work with these people.
Partner with them.
Yeah,
whatever the
exactly.
case may be.
But
Right.
and that's just where it was. But it's like I said, it just fell into my lap.
I love that. I feel like sometimes like the universe is gonna put you where you need to be.
for sure.
Truly, like
Definitely where you need to be.
there's no other way to explain it besides just that, because
Yeah.
it really just be happening.
Facts.
Um,
Facts.
So are we gonna dive into this short film? Because I,
mean,
got some.
okay, because I know
Let's
that
get
that's
it.
where you ready to dive in,
I'm
and
ready.
this might segue
I'm
into it
ready.
because I was gonna ask you really quick before we dive into that, which we probably will segue anyway.
We're gonna get there.
My question to you is, I mean, as a photographer, videographer, and outside of the money shit, right? What are some of the things that the bullshit that comes with? I mean, as an artist, we know what the bullshit comes with. As a DJ, we definitely know. As a content creator, as a barber, we all know what's the bullshit that comes with the job,
Our field.
especially at the
Yeah.
beginning
You know
of
what's
it.
crazy?
So for or at least for you, what would you say?
Okay, we can call it bullshit, but you can also call it a blessing
Okay,
because you see the real in it.
right,
You feel what I'm saying?
right.
You see who is and who's not. Some can, some can't.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? Some can't keep their word, some can't keep their word. Some things just don't work out. But within that, you see what does work out. You feel what I'm saying?
Perspective.
Right. Like, I look at it like this. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna say the person's name,
Of course not.
but I turned down a pretty twice, actually. Just recently I did. And I did it again. Well, I did it before a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I'm happy I did it. At the time, I was like, damn, I don't know if that was a good decision.
Uh-huh.
But the way that particular person was moving and the person that person was around, you know, it made sense why I did what I did. And the way I was going, it actually worked out perfect.
Okay.
But
And you talk about doing business or like being this person's
right,
photographer or whatever
exactly.
it is.
Right, doing business.
Okay.
But it's just like, but there's a lot of broken promises. There's a lot of like.
So when you say broken promises, at least for a videographer or a photographer, what is it like? Come to this shoot but then it's not. They cancel it or like what?
Nah, it's
you
just
know?
like, you know, bro, you know I got you. Or, you know,
When
when
it
you
comes
first,
to, like,
when you
pain,
right.
okay.
When you first get into, oh, you know I got you. Oh yeah, you know
yeah,
I got
it's
you.
good. Money
It's almost,
good.
but
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
But when you show up, it's not what this is. You know what I
Just
mean? Or
work
just-
for you, yeah.
Right, or just not, or like they try to play you like, oh, why should I pay you for that? Like, why
Okay, I
should
was
I?
about to
You
say,
know
give
what
us
I
an
mean?
example
Right,
of a
yeah.
photographer
It's
getting
kind of
played.
hard because I'm really not, because like a lot of it is just like I put in the rear view and I just let it be what it was,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
once I already see his bullshit, I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah,
I
a lot of the
got
things.
my
The
roller
reason I'm
derbies.
asking you these questions because I know there's people that's out. You know, a lot of people be
For
tapped in. So
sure.
some of motherfuckers going through some shit that you probably was going through 5 years ago, and they
Right
just
now.
need to know.
Right now, no,
You know what I'm
I say
saying?
the main thing I can say is people gonna lie to you.
Right.
People gonna send you false events that you gonna think is something that it's not. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be this and this is gonna be that, and they ain't nowhere. You know what I mean?
Near what it is.
Yeah, watch out for some PRs. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Shout out to PRs though, because you
Okay.
do need them, but you got to be careful. You know, to make sure this fits what
What
you're
you got
trying to
going
do.
on. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just not.
They got
for
to
them.
align with
exactly.
what you got going on.
You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense.
Especially you working for free. If you working for free, you not make it worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely make it worth it.
Make it worth it. Don't just be like, oh yeah, just happy to be here. You know what I
Right.
mean? Act like you've been here. Don't be happy to be here. You know what I'm saying?
That part. Yeah, that's what I want to know. So now we can get into. Now that we got the formalities out the way, we know who Tommy Boy is. I'm gonna pass the torch to Darby, and we gonna dive into the.
Short film.
Yeah.
So it's called
Sid.
It's called Sid.
Sid, yeah, it's called Sid.
So, I mean, I think everyone in this room has been through relationship
Let's
problems.
talk
Right.
about it.
So, was this like a way for you to vent about the situation that you went through? How did this end up being your first like
It's crazy.
short film and it being so personal at that? Like,
Oof, man, well, it didn't start off. It wasn't supposed to be a film.
okay.
It started off as a poem.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into it.
Damn, you was going
um,
through it.
Yeah, nah, for sure. It started off after a phone call. You know how it go when you going through a breakup, whatever. So you still had that communication.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, that communication when y'all speaking is always not good. It's always
Mhm,
gonna be an argument because this person sees it this way, you see it this way. It's just not good.
Right.
So it went from conversation was all right, then it got bad, then it got terrible. Got off the phone, I'm like, bro. And the only thing I can do at that moment was just write.
Right.
And I wrote this poem called Remembering Love. And it was more or less of like remembering the beautiful times,
Right.
remembering just the moments I shared, which is in this film, and just I just wanted to like really like soak in that, you know what I mean? Soak in the beautiful times. So it went from me writing that to like me looking at it and like, you know what? I actually want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was seeing it in my brain at first, but I was like, nah, I actually want to see this
Yeah.
on my TV.
Right.
Mm.
So I ended up making a phone call to one of my boys. I was like, hey, I wrote this, but I want it to be a visual. He's like, how you want to do it? I said, we're gonna hire some actors and we're just gonna see how this goes.
Okay.
So I shot it once. I shot it twice. So we shot it the first time, and I was like, this could be better. You know what I mean? This could be a lot bigger than what I think it could be. So I ended up shooting it again. So when I shot it again, I wanted to add some more stuff, but then there was like, I think you should keep the story where it's at. So I'm like, man. So I was like, okay. So I went back to the drawing board and it birthed another one. So it birthed another. So when it birthed something totally different, I was like, okay. So when I shot that one, then I was like thinking again. I was like, so it birthed another one. So I started writing again. I just kept writing. So it just birthed. So it just kept going. It kept evolving. It just kept going.
But taking it back to Remembering Love, what was it that you seen that could have been different from that first one? Where you was like, okay, I like this, but we can enhance this or take this away, add to it. What's some of the details that you could have did different?
A lot of it was my eye as directing it. I was like, the production really wasn't it for me at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, nah, we gotta enhance this. You know, we gotta bring in different cameras. We gotta bring in different lighting. We gotta really so I feel like people could really relate to this.
Cause you had
right. And it was so personal to me.
Right.
And so like real near and dear to my heart, where I was like, I'm not just gonna put anything
out
just to put it out. That's just not the way I operate. That's not gonna be on my name. It's just not gonna happen.
Especially being your first piece of real art like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You only introduce yourself one time.
I feel like we're not really highlighting that. So this is your real love story.
For sure.
That you're bringing to life.
For sure.
Yeah, that's major right there.
This is this piece is like everything that transpired. This is real. I'm not fabricating. I'm not beating behind the bush. Everything is very real in my eyes. Now, another other person may have their own view of this, but I'm only telling my side of it. You know what I mean? Of what was beautiful to me. You get what I'm saying? And the memories that I cherish and I will forever cherish.
That's how love goes. It's two sides to it. That's how love goes. Yeah.
For sure,
Is there a difference? I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way. Is there a difference between creating something that is real and and that comes from a real emotion versus creating something that was created like a story? And what's the difference?
Right, you're talking about a fun project and a passion project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah, it's a complete difference.
Yeah.
When you're talking about a passion project, you're talking about your life.
Yeah.
You're talking about real situations, your representation as a person. Right. You're talking about the other person's representation as a person. You want to make sure that it's well respected, and you're respecting that person, and you're respecting yourself, and you want to make sure you're being presented in a good light. Now, when you're making a fun project, it's almost like you get to play around a little bit. You get what I'm saying? It's like I get to play around. You get to toy around with it a little bit.
Right.
Now, when you're making a passion project, you want it to be as accurate as possible. Of course, you got to play with it a little bit for the camera to make sure it makes sense.
Right.
There's a lot of things that play out in real life don't make sense on camera. So you have to you do got to play around just a tad, but you want to be authentic as possible.
Right.
Because you're representing yourself. You're representing the relationship that you claim that you love, or whatever passion that you claim that you love, and you're also representing that person, that you claimed or that you love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep too. That's deep.
This is kind of off topic, still within the film, but I was curious if it's not too personal because you put it in the film, so I want to know, how did you get that scar?
Okay. Yeah. I was about 2 years ago.
This is recently.
Yeah. Everything's pretty much recent. So 2 years ago, I was at Topanga Mall in Woodland Hills, and I was walking in the mall, and I stopped at this jewelry kiosk, and this white dude came up from behind me and literally hit me in the back of the head and beat me unconscious for 2 minutes.
Randomly?
Yeah, randomly, where he shattered my whole shoulder. If I take off my shirt right now, I had to have shoulder surgery. My whole shoulder was shattered. My face was covered in blood. They had to literally rush me to the hospital. The ambulance came. They had to rush me to the hospital. And it's crazy because this past February, California got a law called the Mental Diversion Program, where if they deem you mentally ill, it's a 2-year program. You complete your treatments, and the case gets dismissed.
And that's what he got?
And he got that this past February. So meaning this won't even go on his record. It never happened. my shoulder's forever damaged. I forever had a scar on my face, and I'll forever have a memory in my brain. And yeah, that's what happened.
That's so
Wow,
weird.
I'm in shock.
Yeah, me too. And I'm actually kind of want to
Right.
like speak on that a little bit more if
Gotta
you don't
unpack
mind.
that,
Right.
yeah.
Nah, for real.
So it was literally random. This person
Random.
is random.
I
You never
never
know.
met
He
him.
has
Like,
no
it's-
reason.
It was so random. If he would have say 2 words right now, I won't even know what he sound like.
Damn.
Nah, seriously. Like, I didn't even like. Only thing I remember was like when I kind of came back, I was like, "What happened?
Yeah.
Like, what happened?" You know what I mean? It's almost like it's crazy because I didn't go down right away. So when he hit me, it's like I was trying to turn around, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then
I
he-
can imagine a blow to
Right,
your head.
That you weren't expecting
But-
at
At
all.
all.
Right,
Yeah.
but then he stayed on me though. So he stayed on me, and it's almost like he got in front of me. It's like I can like see him, but I couldn't move.
Mm,
I can feel air hitting me, but I couldn't feel the punch.
Swept away by it.
Like I couldn't feel any. It was like air slapping me in my face, like air slapping me in my face, all the way up till we hit the floor. Then we hit the floor. On the video, it shows that he was on top of me. Like he didn't let up.
Oh my God.
And who was you were by yourself?
I was
or-
by myself. And like, cause usually that's what you know what I mean? And like a lot of it, the reason why the film was even made is because of like, that's my natural habitat. I always been by myself, always rocked by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? Like, go to the mall by myself. I'll go out to dinner by myself. And that's, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, that day was one of my downfalls of being by myself because on film, they actually show him where he's like behind me, he's looking at me like real hard. Like he cocks back, then he like looks around, then he hits me to make sure I was by myself, then he hits me.
And he was by himself too.
He was by himself too.
And
Yeah.
this person is like alive and
Look,
everything.
Right.
you see me over here, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
man,
I'm
like,
literally,
they
like,
just
in
recently,
shock.
Like, you gotta realize though, like they're gonna be coming after me the first. You know what I mean? Because he's doing his program. He's not even, from my understanding, he's not even in California no more. He like they shipped him back to like New York with his mom's. Yeah, I went to the court date and everything, and they basically told me in front of my face, there's nothing they can do. As a judge.
Now,
told me.
mind you, his situation, I don't want to veer too far off from what we came here to talk about, but that's just crazy to me because you guys know the situation with my dad having, you know, bipolar disorder and whatnot. And what my dad did was nowhere near as violent as what this guy did to him.
Yeah.
And this guy got no repercussions, nothing on his record,
Yeah.
and is basically footloose and fancy free. And my dad is walking around with a whole felony charge for just like crashing into a car
Nah,
while
but
he
you
was
know what's
having
crazy,
a
though?
manic episode. But my dad's black.
Yeah.
The person that attacked you,
Right.
he's
it was
white.
But you know what's crazy though? I got an email this past Thursday, and it said on October they're gonna have a court hearing for his mental progress. Right?
What?
And like I look at it like, what about my mental progress?
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? Like what about me?
Exactly. Like, has anyone? Like, oh my!
You know, I mean, that's
This
the
is-
crazy.
Yeah, no,
This is crazy.
That's the crazy thing.
That's-
But
I didn't think we was gonna go that far by me
Yeah,
asking how you got the scar. I thought you like fucking
but
fell
that
or
was
something.
but that was very important because that's in the film, and I had to get there of what you're saying and to get to other things I have said in that film. I had to draw everything back. I had to relive everything, and I have never took a drama class in my life. I have never did a
What
play
did
in
I
my
say?
life.
What did I say when I was watching?
Natural.
I said he's a natural.
Yeah, yeah.
I have never did that, but I was just drawing from everything that I ever been through. I was just drawn through everything I've been through, from child abuse to
Oh,
being
wow.
unconscious to deaths to just everything. I was just that piece. I just had to draw everything. I said, if you're gonna do this, I gotta do it right. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I could have hired an actor, and I thought about it. And I thought about it, but I was like, no, if anybody's gonna do this, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I really don't think you needed to.
It makes it,
I really
it makes
think-
it
I really
more
think you secured
authentic
the
as well.
bag.
It makes it more
Right. Because I did hire an actor to play in, you know what I mean, in a piece. Shout out Jamil Taylor, because I did not want to relive those sentimental memories with somebody else. So I did do on that end, but the part that you're discussing, I had to do it myself. I feel
Right.
like if anybody's gonna bring that, I have to bring
You
it.
have to face that.
You did it.
Right.
you accomplished it for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
definitely,
crazy.
I definitely think that the film, it could be like a reminder to so many people because we've all been through.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's like our age in their late 20s, early 30s who's like never been heartbroken before, never
Right.
been in a relationship, had
Right,
relationship problems.
right.
So it's
And
very
then especially
relatable.
in the
Right.
part where I don't want to give too much away in
Right.
it, you feel me? But like there was a portion at the beginning where you kind of like almost kind of like talking to yourself.
Right.
You know, and like I
Right.
feel like everybody goes through that.
Sure.
Where we like, nigga,
What are we doing
fuck
here?
all that.
Nah,
What are we
nah,
doing
yeah, what are
here?
we doing?
Or, what,
Like,
or it could be that other person that's also you could be saying anything, but I feel like we've all been through that where they just saying literally, oh, you like kind of like I just felt that so much though because I
Right.
feel like I go through that a lot where it's like two of me like and we're literally pulling
Look,
at
you
each
got
other.
your
Right.
little-
right. We all got a
Yeah,
little
we go.
Gemini in
Yeah,
us
we-
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Um,
Like so I felt that part right there.
Nah, but a lot of it was like that scene there was like I just lost the best fucking thing that ever happened to me.
Mm.
I just lost through everything I've been through. I remember thinking, God, I said, God, if this is what I have to go through for you to send this person to me, I get it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I get it. And the day I had actually met this person was the day I found out my grandmother was dying. And I was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? I'm about to lose my number one, you know what I mean? But look what God is, you know what I mean, creeping through the back door. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, cool. But then at times it's like we can let our own fears, we can let our own traumas get in the way of our blessings.
Right.
Because I truly feel like that was a blessing. You get what I'm saying? Like I have never felt that good in my life. Like I was before she came into my life, nigga, I was hurt for like 10 years. I lost my father when I was 15.
Wow.
A year after he entered my life.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Deep.
And like I found my pops. Like
Yeah.
I wrote a letter to my daddy, like looking for him to
Yeah.
my grandmama's house. He wrote me back. We connected. He passed.
Wow.
Damn.
You know, I was 15 years old. So when that happened, and I didn't know how to grieve. So when he passed, like I'm back at my house. Like everybody in my house is like, you know what I mean? Like whatever. You know what I
Regular.
mean? It's my dad, it's not their daddy. So I'm like in a depression as a kid. Like
Yeah.
I'm not understanding like what is going on.
Right.
Then like you're still trying to find yourself at the same time. You're still trying to go through life problems. Then you're going through at home problems with moms and like it's
There you
like
go.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like so much things transpired throughout just life problems. Then like the situation happened at the mall. It's just, you know, you lose friends along the way. You know what I mean? Then it was like this blessing that entered my life, but I was scared as shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared as shit. I was so scared. Like it was like this is great, but like I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to control this. Like
Yo.
you know what I mean? How can I bottle up these emotions and not show this person that I'm a little bit damaged?
I'm hurt.
You know what I mean? I'm hurt.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Damaged
you're trying
goods.
to cover that, but I'm gonna tell you though, I used to walk into rooms. This is honesty. I used to walk into rooms and I'll look at every man in the room. And I'll tell you, like in my head, I'm like, you're not stronger than me. You didn't go through child abuse. You almost, you know what I mean? You didn't go through losing your pops after you found them. You didn't, you know what I mean? All these things, you didn't go through what happened in the mall. Like I'm not, like I used to take that and use that as strength and not knowing I was sweeping everything underneath the rug.
Right.
It took a real woman, like an actual woman, to look at me in my eyes and at times wake me up out of my nightmares
That's
to
deep.
let me know I see you.
Right.
And once that person, like once you see that person sees you, it's like, oh shit, I'm emotionally weak. I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
Right.
That mask came off. My armor came off. You know what I mean? And I found myself like, damn. And like once that person like really like gets fed up with you and like all right, you either gotta get this together or you just can't, you know what I mean? And that's the last thing you wanna do is push that person away.
Right.
It's major right there.
Oh,
That's
for
major.
sure.
And
feel
then
like-
I'm sorry, Cut. And then to articulate it in film is probably even the
For
hardest.
sure.
Because
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
relive it. You gotta relive the whole thing as
Oh,
you're getting it out.
I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I did not.
Damn.
And yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. Damn,
Nah.
'cause I'm like, damn, I don't know
I
if I
gotta
ever
eat.
been
I
through
didn't
that.
do.
I don't know if
I
I
didn't
ever
do
been
nothing.
through
Like
that.
I turned off my phone. People
Thank
blowing
God.
out my phone.
Thank God.
Yeah, I turned off my phone. People blowing on my phone. I'm not talking to anybody, bro. Like I locked myself in my house, and I was just like, I'ma sit in this, and I'ma figure out what the hell happened and what the hell did I do wrong.
But
You
you
know what
know,
I'm saying?
like I don't mean to cut you off, but it's a lot. If we take it back a little bit, to not have your father and then to lose your father as you're getting to that point where you can actually understand the value of a father,
For sure.
that's a major missing piece right there. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And it's like to be a young black man today, it's like that's what you need.
Yo,
Especially
for
at
sure.
that time.
Bingo.
Oh,
you know,
oh,
that's,
for
that's what
sure.
you need.
Right.
And one thing I did do is crazy because I feel like personally for me, I can't speak for everybody, death brings me closer to the person because now I have no choice but to lean on your words.
Mm.
Whatever words you didn't told me,
You had
now
no
I ain't got
choice.
no choice but to, okay, like I remember he told me this. I remember, okay, like I used to make fun of my pops because he would like open doors and close doors for women. Like, what you doing that for?
Yeah.
But he would tell me at times, like, I'm doing it to teach you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I ain't never gonna do that.
Yeah.
But he told me, you say you get with a woman that you really, you know what I mean, that you really love, you gonna find yourself. And here I go, here I am, opening these doors, closing these doors. You know what I mean? And I did it
Yeah.
with no problem. It's almost like, yeah,
Second
like,
nature.
It was second nature.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it came like naturally. And
Yeah.
it's funny because like I can hear my pop like laughing at me, like, told you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but yeah, losing your pops at 15, that's when you need them the most. That's when you're trying to
sure.
become a man.
For sure.
You putting it all together at
For
that point.
sure. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, but once that's gone, you have no choice but to figure it out on your own.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that came second nature because I had to do that my whole life. He wasn't there. He wasn't there before.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? My mom's, not to get in too deep, but my mom, she was too concerned of her own relationship
Mm-hmm.
and what she had going on. As we all been there before.
Right.
You know what I mean? My
Especially being
mom's-
at this age, you kind of
Right.
now look back like, I understand now because I'm finally at the age you were at and I know what I be on. So
Yeah,
I
for
get it.
sure, for
Like,
sure.
you
Yeah,
know,
It's
because
all
my
happening.
and I had to realize and like, you know what I mean, my mom, she, you know what I mean, we just now, you know what I mean, it's crazy because and I mean, her again, like, I'm gonna call her God's blessing. I'm gonna say her name, I'm gonna call her God's blessing. The woman that entered my life that I fell in love with, she was kind of like the catalyst to bring me and my mom's together. You get what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like just as far as me opening up to her, that I have never opened up to anybody else, made me pick up that phone and be like, hey, tell my mom how I felt when this happened, when that happened, when you did this, when you did that. Feelings I never thought I would ever, you know what I mean, have the courage or just even care to even express to her.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
And
And I was gonna ask, since we on it, you mentioned being damaged and going through what you went through. So did those emotions and feelings come out when God's blessing came into your life, or did you already know? Because sometimes self-evaluation doesn't come until somebody kind of opens your eyes until you realize.
like, listen, I knew,
Okay.
I knew, but I knew how to mask it.
Okay.
I was a master at it. Like I was a
So
master at
during
masking.
that time period with her, were you masking, or was the mask was coming off? I would think. Or I'm guessing.
The mask was coming off. See, what happened was I had to sit with myself,
Mhm.
and I said, if this is gonna work, I gotta let her in.
Right.
'Cause I was scared. Like there's been times I was like, I don't know if I could do this because of I don't know if I can be that open and being that, you know, I didn't know if that could be my safe place. I wasn't too sure.
It's scary.
But
yeah.
right, it's definitely scary. But it was almost like somebody get a hug and you ain't never really had it. It was like awkward at first, but you was like, oh shit, I can get used to this. It was like that Grinch. I was like, you know, the heart was just growing.
Right.
And that's what it was. Like that little boy that finally got that hug. It was like, damn, like, okay.
So my follow up with that answer that you gave me, when did the roller coaster come down? When did things start to, and you don't have to dive too deep into it.
Mhm.
Why? And I asked why because it almost sounded like during that time period, you kind of already knew your flaws.
Right.
And you knew you were masking what you were masking.
For sure.
So I'm trying to figure, well, what I'm trying to find out is like, how did you still kind of like fuck that off knowing you had those issues in your life? She was the one who kind of like was getting you through it and you still fucked it off.
Still fucked it off. We always still find a way to get in our own way. You know what I mean? And like I said, I can only bring up mine.
Your situation. Right.
We always find a way to get in our own way. We
Exactly.
always find a way at times to, to fuck it off. We find a way. And it's almost like, unfortunately, it's almost like we try to fuck it off because we're scared.
That's all we know.
That's all we know is like, like, oh, this is too good to be true. Ain't no way you can wake up to me and still want me every day. You know what I mean? Ain't no way you still like, there's no way. Like, I come from, bro, you know where I come from? Like, I don't come from this.
All try.
I don't come from love, bro. Like, I don't come from, you know what I mean? Like, this is not, what I'm accustomed to. What I'm accustomed to is like, this person over here and I'm over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
Like-
the film then is you obviously expressing your emotion.
Right.
Letting your feelings kind of opening up. But like, I wouldn't say what the goal is, because I know the goal is to, articulate how you feel,
For
right?
sure.
But is there another, like, are you trying to kind of like let that person see it to like, or is you trying to, how back in the day, motherfuckers would go fucking have the radio in front of the house or somebody would write a poem and send it. So 'cause I'm like, is this your way of kind of low key, like,
Listen.
Trying to spin the block or
Spin the block. Oh. I'll get up off this podcast right now. She called me.
damn.
there you go, right there. There you go. I respect
Damn.
that honesty too. I respect that.
And that's honestly, not saying she's going to, not saying that's ever going to happen. You know what I mean? Maybe not. But in all honesty, you said the radio, bruh, I didn't did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I definitely feel like everyone comes in our life for seasons. Some of those seasons are very long.
For sure. For sure.
And some are not nearly as long as we expected them to be.
But they hold way more weight.
But they hold so much weight and value. So, given this may be a shorter than expected season, but from what I just heard you say, it seems like she taught you a lot about being a man and maneuvering through your emotions as a man.
Right.
So regardless, if this is not something that can be rekindled or whatever the case may be, I feel like you still got to be thankful for what
For
you've
sure.
learned out of the situation
For sure.
and how it's going to push you to be better in the future for maybe who that woman is supposed to be
sure.
for you.
So I kind of like take this as like, you remember Mrs. Society?
Absolutely.
Of course.
You remember Grandpa was like, "Hey, do you ever care if you live or die?" And like, you know what I mean? So I felt like I was like that. Like, do you care? Do you honestly care? Then like at the end when it was done, he was like, "Now it's too late." You know what I mean? Like, now it's too late. But to what you said, like, yeah, you just gotta take it for what it is. If it doesn't, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's why, at the you guys seen the film at the end, at the very last thing, I say like, I say those words as far as the hope. You know what I mean? And that's all I can do. And just let it ride. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if it does next time around, like I know. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Amen.
Hey, you know what I will say? A lot of dope art, from music to visuals to poetry to a lot of shit, comes in from breakups or
And pain.
or pain.
Period.
It's the pain.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's super dope that what you created. But what is the scary part about those things that are like created from pain is like, can it be created when you're back into that good state in that good space?
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
it can't. I was telling King over here, I was like, if I would have did this next year, it wouldn't hit the same. We broke up about a month before I shot the other one. You have to be in it.
you have to be fresh.
You have to be in it. It's almost like, I'm be honest with you, it's almost like I damn near killed myself
Goddamn.
of trying to make this what it is. as far as trying to go back and draw, and not just draw from the relationship. You gotta draw from way back to what caused you to be who you are.
Definitely,
Mhm.
100%.
To cause you to be, you know what I mean?
Messing shit up,
Right,
or-
messing shit
Or
up.
fuck it off,
You
or
fuck it
whatever.
off. And
Yeah.
also the beautiful parts of who you are.
For
That's
sure.
You
it.
get what I'm saying?
For sure.
You had to draw all that back. So not only was I going back on my relationship, which I felt was the best relationship as a person I ever had in my life, not just as a woman, just as a person. Not only I was going back on that, I had to go back on my mama. I had to go back on my daddy. I had to
Yeah,
go back
whole
on
childhood.
my whole childhood, my life problems. You know what I mean? I had to go back on everything, and I damn near had to kill myself
Right.
to make this happen. And some people would tell you like, that nigga went crazy. You know what I mean? Oh, that he done lost his damn mind. But that's why in the title it says, Sid, sincerely yours, darling. I hope you understand my love letter. And it's like, I hope you understand what this entailed, what I went through. I hope you understand. Hopefully I can paint the picture
Yeah.
good enough where you could be like, oh, okay.
It was literally a 1988 love letter, just created a visual.
Modern day.
Right.
Modern day. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's probably the scariest part about like a videographer, photographer, right? Because you date like a rapper. Maybe he might dish you.
He
Fuck
gonna
it.
put you in a little
He
song
might put you
or
on a song
whatever.
and dish you, right? R&B sing you day one. He might sing and dish you. You know what I'm saying?
Couple bars. Yeah.
Couple bars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The DJ, he might see you walk in the club and play a song that he know you hate. But like a videographer, like nigga,
It's gonna be all
I'm finna-
visual.
I'm-
You
I'm
gonna
finna-
see this.
I'm finna- yeah.
4K.
Like God's blessing. That's what we named
Where the
her.
hell we gonna name her
Her
God's
friends
blessing?
group message chat probably be
It
going
was
nuts every
going
time she drop a video.
dumb.
Like, bitch, he just dropped another one on you. He
yeah.
dropped another one on you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
funny and scary part. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
bro.
Because
Yeah.
like a motherfucker who date a videographer and you know it goes sour, you gotta expect like, damn, this nigga might like send a diss to me. Like, and it's gonna be really hard to come back because it's gonna be like a visual diss like,
Bingo.
with paid actors and a studio and a rented
I can't
Airbnb. I'm like, ooh,
I can't compete.
he up to me.
I'll
You
tell
feel-
you this much. She knows me well enough to know,
It was coming.
and I know her well enough to know that I'll say she may have not known that was coming, but if
I'm
anybody,
sure she didn't.
but if anybody were to do it, she'd be like,
It's
it's
gonna
him.
be. It's gonna
It's,
be.
it's him. Like this is it's a surprise, but it's like nah, like because like at the end of the day, I always pride myself on going above and beyond if I could. You know what I mean? What I could do within myself, what I'm capable of doing. I have no problem standing front line and like just like whatever it is. Like I done did things that like it's just like, huh?
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you even come up with that? But
Right.
it's just like it's in my brain, so it
Gonna
is
make
what
it
it
happen.
is. I gotta let it
Exactly.
out.
Before we get too far though, like where do you get some of these creative influences on creating a movie when you're doing photography, videography, separate from all of this? Where do you get some of these creative influences from?
The influence. Ooh. On this particular one, I influenced myself.
Major.
Yeah, this seemed like it came from.
This came from
Right.
The
It
pit.
came from
Major.
it came from me and her. Like to be real
Yeah.
with you and I, and to be honest with you, all due respect, I should have threw her on as a producer.
Damn.
You know what I mean? To be real, even though
Or give her
That
some type
would've
of
been
credit.
right.
That's a
She
diss.
got
Super
it. She got
petty.
the
That's a
title.
diss.
like even though granted the fact that she wasn't involved in this process, but this wouldn't have been possible. Like we wrote this story together.
You
feel
just
what I'm
didn't-
saying?
She just didn't know she was writing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
A lot, but that's the thing about life. I'm happy you said that, and not to get too far off topic, but I hear a lot of people that I have shown this film to. And they're like, "Wow, like I always wanted to write my story. I always wanted to write a story." I said, "The story's already written. You just got to tell it.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's already done. Just, like I always tell people, just tell the fucking story.
mm.
That's
The
simple.
story's already written. You just
Gotta tell
have
it.
to tell it.
So when
Major.
does the world get to see this expression, this art, this story that will relate to a lot? I mean, as much as it's so personal to Tommy Boy, literally, I mean, if 10 people watch the film that we watch, I would say at least 6 to 7 will have some type of way that it relates to him, even if it's a small portion in that film.
thank
You feel me? So obviously we're podding, and you know the world's gonna see the pod eventually. So that we want to know when they're gonna be able to see
Um,
the project.
I'm pushing this for next month, man. Or late next month, early September.
My
I'm
birthday
really
month.
yeah.
Any specific rollout
Very
style?
special.
Are you gonna do anything
Um,
like any marketing? Are you gonna do anything?
I'm definitely want to
Yes.
continue to do more podcasts. I definitely want to continue. I actually started a
Period.
Kickstarter page.
Nice.
It's actually on my Instagram at Tommy Boy Freeze. Links in the bio, just to like help with like marketing and just keep it pushing, just keep the rollout going. As far as like I said, like podcasts and just being on more stuff, just talking about it and just sharing the story. Because I believe this story can relate to so many people,
It can.
so many people.
And not only can it relate to people, but I think with you putting it out there, you can open up a whole new lane for yourself. Because now somebody like, well, nigga, I got either I'm going through something, or maybe even if it's music videos, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But even if it's somebody like, nah, I got a story to tell, but I need it to be articulated the way you articulated your short film.
Right,
You
right,
feel
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like, so
That's a good point, Muda.
No,
I think
so
that's
people
'cause-
kind of be attracted to you in that
For
field
sure.
now, which it seems that that's the intent, though.
Oh, for sure. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to nobody. If you would have told me New Year's Eve that about 3 months down the line, I would be writing I would have wrote, directed, acted, produced, and narrated my first short film. I'd be like, hell no. About a situation that is no longer with the person actually standing next to you.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
That's deep.
That you kissing under the fireworks. You know what I mean? I would have been like, no. I'd have been like, no. I probably would have been mad. Like, you don't ever jinx me like that.
Right.
Not with the film, but like, don't try to take this person away from me.
Because you was really in it.
Right, because I was really in it.
Yep.
But like I said, I had no intentions for this to be what it is, but you never know what God has in store for you to do. And this was my path that I'm on right now, and it's an interesting one, a very uncomfortable one.
Definitely. And there ain't nothing wrong with getting out of your comfort zone, and sometimes the dopest work comes from things like that. For sure. So kudos to you, bro. Keep doing your shit. For sure.
That's where success resides, is on that other line of uncomfortability.
Bingo. And it all came from a blessing, so you got to cherish the moment.
Oh yeah, always cherish the moment, and that's what in the film you'll see a lot of that. You'll see a lot of like, damn, I fucked up the moment, but I cherished the moment. You get what I'm saying?
Or at least learn from it. Like, again, everybody's gonna take their own narration from your video and or just digest it.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they do, and I hope they can look at this and like, if your relationship's on the rocks, you look at this, and I hope you be like, you know what, it's not worth it.
Yep.
I hope you be like, whatever it is that y'all going through, whatever it is I'm going through, it ain't worth it. Get it together. You get what I'm saying? Because when that person gone, and that house is quiet, and ain't nobody about to come through that door, and you sitting there like, bro,
I ain't never even experienced that. I feel like I haven't experienced that yet. So I don't know, but I feel you. But I don't know if I experience. I want to one day to where I'm like, damn, I don't even want to lose you.
For
The
sure.
fullness of the house.
Yeah,
Right.
like, I haven't
Like,
got the
listen.
fullness yet. I haven't got the. I'm scared or nervous to lose you yet.
Oh,
You know what
man,
I'm saying?
that's-
Like,
That's a scary feeling, but it's a beautiful feeling.
right.
Because
I'm
when you in
sure.
that crib, my apartment ain't that big.
Okay.
But I ain't gonna lie to nobody. My apartment ain't, but it's my apartment.
Yeah.
But when
Period.
that person's in that apartment, it's like, damn, like you really make this apartment look beautiful. You know what I mean? You really turn this apartment warm. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And when that's gone, and now you just have nothing but memories in
It's
this
cold in that
thing,
motherfucker.
and
Now it's cold.
you putting the pictures back in the shelf. You like, oh my God, I can't believe this. You know what I mean? It's almost like, it's like what Luther said, a house is not a home if ain't nobody there, because you ain't gonna want to be there no more.
Hello.
It just is what it
nigga
is. Like, I
preaching.
ain't sitting in here no more. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, is there any more short films that are gonna come after this one, or are you
For
gonna?
sure. I plan on starting production to
Okay.
start next month.
So, are they gonna now start being more fun?
No.
You're gonna keep
Not yet. Not yet. I have a story to tell. I have so many stories to tell. And until I can tell all my stories, that's when I'll be able to. But nah, I feel like there's enough fun stuff in the world. There's not enough real stuff in the world. You know what I mean? Because a lot of fun stuff, if you notice, is usually copycatted. So now when you tell a lot of real stuff, it's kind of hard to, duplicate that or to redo that because it's actually coming from an authentic place.
Yes. I
So
believe
no,
that.
not yet.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we've seen it, so we know what you got going on. But the world need to see what's going on because I think they're gonna really love it. I think it was a dope project, and I think a lot of people gonna see it from different angles. Like I said, there's a portion I don't want to give too much away, but there's even the part where I'm like, damn.
Right.
I might not relate to everything in this, but that specific fucking part right there. Oh.
What was that? That was a talking back and forth.
Talking back and forth.
Okay,
Even when it comes to business or friendships, relationships, even if it's like decisions I gotta make, family, it's like one part of me is saying, nigga, who, you know what I'm saying? Or if somebody's trying to smut me or spite me or whatever, it's always another mooder just right there like, nigga. And the other mooder, he be going up like, nigga,
for sure.
Fuck all that, nigga. Fuck, you know. So even though that wasn't the dialogue that you were
right,
saying.
no, but you perceive that in your own way, which that was my way at that time of where I was at. You know what I mean? That's what that's where I'm still at times today. You know what I mean? It's just in different things. Everybody has their own way.
Right.
But what I will say about that piece that you're talking about, what I will say is that both of them were hurt.
Yes.
Both of them were hurt. You had one that was emotionally unavailable, and you had one that was just emotionally just fucked up.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's how it usually is. But because they're two type of personalities, or you know what I'm saying, they could both be hurt, but the way they take it in or digest are two totally different ways.
Two extremes.
Right. Two extremes. Or one might not be that extreme, but they're two different extremes.
Exactly.
So you're looking to push this next month and starting to write a new.
No, it's already written, already shot. Listen, I'm starting production. I'm looking.
Oh,
to start,
right, that's right.
I'm looking
Story's
to start
already
shooting
written.
it.
Now
Yeah.
he's getting ready to tell it.
Well, I be acting.
It's already done.
So that's
if
what
you need somebody to act, you know what I'm saying?
that's what the
for
world
sure.
has to look forward to
Facts.
with Tommy
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the next one's called Sincerely Tommy. You know what I mean? That's the next one.
Right.
So we just gonna
I don't want to
keep the
dive into the
stories.
next one too
Not
much
yet,
because
not yet. I just
want
wanna
to
put
make
that
sure
out there.
we really, motherfuckers really go and support and do that the first one. But like I said before, kudos to what you got going on. I think it's super dope that you could be vulnerable and show your emotion because
That's
the
important
black
as a
man,
man.
like that's what we need right now. We need to show
sure.
women like that. Like, listen, like we love you, queens, but y'all can damage us the same way we damage y'all. You feel me?
I do got one thing to say. If y'all just give me a
go
couple
ahead.
moments. So a lot of the time, when you just brought up being hurt, it's just a lot of the time when we're about 3 to about 5 years old. When you fall down, the first thing your mama, your daddy, or somebody around you tells you, get up, dust it off, you're a boy.
Yeah.
Get up, dust it off, you're a boy. We hold on to that mindset of like, dusting it off. I'm a boy, I'm good. To the point where we start embracing being hurt a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not tough if you didn't, you know what I mean? Take your line, you know what I mean?
Like, well, you ain't
exactly.
Shit like that.
But we take that and we hold on to that for the next 25 to 35 years, or you know, depending on what generation you is, even past that.
Big facts.
But we don't sit there and embrace like, damn, what just happened? We didn't look at that little boy that just felt like his skin did not just rub off on that pavement.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We don't, we don't allow them. We didn't allow them to accept those emotions and those feelings. So we bottle up and we mask up. Then when that straw that broke the camel's back, then it's like, oh shit, why the hell this man? Why he went so crazy? Because he has all this stuff. You know what I mean? That just bottled in. He just goes crazy. So I think it's important, especially what I want to show in this film, that you have to deal with your issues. You have to deal with your emotions. You have to keep those things in check, because a person's only really gonna deal with that stuff for so long.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Until it's like, you know what, this is a little bit too much.
Your story is relatable. So as long as people like myself, men, even women, but as we watching it, we can relate to it, then I feel like we're gonna take from it. But if we can't relate to it, like I said, there's parts I related to. So now I could be like, yeah, I gotta be more. I gotta be open. Matter of fact, I need to find, you know what I'm saying? That's how, as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, damn, I never felt like that. Maybe I need to find a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
whatever the case may be. So I think what you're doing again is super dope. I
I
think
appreciate
we
it.
need more black men who are artists and storytellers to continue this path of, mental health, vulnerability,
Absolutely.
emotion, shit like that. So I think it's dope. Congratulations on
Thank you.
your new film. I know people gonna fuck with it heavy. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so,
keep it
man. I
going.
hope so.
I think we gonna wrap it up. I think we didn't.
Appreciate
we
y'all.
didn't dove into relationships. I'm pretty sure our story. I mean, people watching they got tissues and shit like that.
Oh my gosh.
You feel me? We didn't dive
Heaviest
into it.
episode, yeah.
But on this note, I guess we could wrap it up. I want to thank my co-host, my beautiful co-host, Darby Darb, my dog King Cut, and our guest that came
Thank
through
you,
and
thank you.
supported and
Thank you.
and came through with the film. We appreciate. We got exclusive too,
With
so
the vibes,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
right.
this
Thank
is
you.
it was dope, right? I mean, we getting phone text messages like, "Man, I'm viewing this dope." It's da-da-da. So you definitely had our viewers engaged.
I appreciate
So we
that.
appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Tommy Boy,
Thank
for
you guys for
coming
having me.
through. Much love, and much support, and when you drop your next one, come on through, and we got you.
Come on
I
through.
got
so
you.
we
And when
can-
it's ready for release, I'm sure the Ox Connect should be able to
Oh,
post it on
yeah,
the
for
page
sure.
as well. So
Yeah, for sure.
thank you so much. Once again, to all of our viewers, we appreciate y'all tuning into the Ox Connect, where we connect y'all with all the dopest stuff from entertainment to relationships to emotion.
We just added to the categories.
Hello.
Hello.
Expansion.
We appreciate y'all. Much love. Stay safe. Stay
Ox Connect
blessed.
Podcast. Talking
Hello.
about-
It got hot.
Wonderful.
It was